Well, it's about the time of year that I made that original video a few years ago saying how Scream Fortress was the only thing I was looking forward to. So I figure it's time to make another update because I've been kind of doing it since then. I would definitely be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to that, and I'm excited that it's like a month away at this point. Mostly because of a certain map called Cursed Cove, not to name any names or anything. But Moonshine Event's pretty cool too. There's a couple of Graveyard. There's probably some other maps I like that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. There's also, this really isn't something to do with my life, but there's potentially the next Great Comet coming too in the next month, so we'll see if that pans out. But again, that's not really something to do with my life or its state, but it would be kind of cool to see that. There's also an eclipse cruise coming up, I think, 2026? So that's pretty cool. I'd love to see another total solar eclipse. There's also the poker aspect. I feel like I've built up an actual bankroll on an app that unfortunately is no longer on the App Store, but you can still play it. I'm just concerned because, once this phone fizzles out, I don't know if I can get it back or access the account, so I had to withdraw a lot of the money. But there is that aspect as well, and then, so I don't know, maybe I'll start playing live. There's still a lot of cons. As I mentioned, the app is no longer on the App Store, so I was trying to move up in stakes. Now I'm apprehensive to really do that because that would require leaving a lot of money in the app, and what if something goes wrong? What if it gets shut down? Well, then that money just is lost. Plus, in general, I'm very nervous, and it doesn't help that people have never really shown any support. And it's just a big jump to go to live, I think, honestly. It's a lot different than online. It's like, again, app was really cool, and something just has to ruin everything that's good about my life. I do think I am maybe good enough to where I could do it, but I suppose in practice we'd have to see, and it's getting the nerve to do it. YouTube is pissing me off, I have to say. It just seems like, I've been uploading every day on this channel just to see what happens. And to be fair, it does seem like it's increased my subscriber count some. But it's like, again, 1,000 views is a victory. At some point, I would like to see some sort of growth from this. And I'm just not seeing any real growth or any real breakthrough. And it's starting to make me wonder, can it ever happen? There's definitely a lot of ideas of things I want to do, but again, getting the wherewithal to do them, and would they be any different? A lot of times I've tried to branch out, and it's gotten less views than before. There is a chance that I'll be moving out, which would be nice to get away from my parents and just have my own place, but it's kind of different because it's like one of those assisted living things, which, I don't know, I don't like those in a lot of ways because a lot of them are very controlling about what you can and can't do. Remember the one I just went to last year was like, oh, you can't have anyone stay overnight. If you have friends over, you have to be in this main room with the door open. It's like, look, I'm an adult. When am I going to be treated like an adult by some people around me, for God's sake? Family issues are definitely still present. I just think that a lot of them are jerks. Really, that's the case. My mom especially lately has just been horrible. It's like she wonders why she criticizes me constantly for sitting on the couch, acting like it's the akin to doing drugs, constantly shames me, throws a hissy fit when she doesn't get her way, and always threatens to well, then I'm going to do this. It's like, and just being around that influence is toxic. And it's also just kind of unfair because it's like, okay, I have suggested things I wanted to do in the past. You've always shot them down. I wanted to do court-appointed special advocate. That's too much work. Just all, and you always push what you want me to do. It just feels like no one's ever really supported what I've wanted to do in life. My dad needs to be more empathetic too. He does at least side with me on some things, but yeah, it just feels like for a lot of the friend issues and other stuff, it's like no one understands what it's like to go through me and everyone's too hard on me. It's been better lately, but it's like the damage is done at this point. And I'd have to say social life, again, I still don't have a social life. I'm still struggling to even find people who engage in basic text messages and stuff. Really, really, really annoying. It's like, come on, really, responding to messages is too much to ask people? For real? Get over yourselves. And put some effort into a friendship, for God's sake. And again, it's like, you try to go to these different places, you try to meet people, nothing ever goes anywhere. And it's so bad. It's like, if I got married tomorrow, who the heck would I even make my best man? I don't think there's hardly anyone that I would consider worthy of even getting given consideration of a role like that, or even a groomsman. These people have treated me so poorly and treated me like I'm so useless. Why would I even put them in such a role? They don't deserve to be part of my life. You got to act like I have value, and I'm tired of people doing this and expecting it to be okay. And I'm tired of being starved of social interaction. Stop feeding me breadcrumbs and expecting me to feel full. And at the end, it's just, even like taking classes at the college, it's like things seem cool and then everyone just kind of ghosts you once the class is done. And it's sort of like, what am I supposed to do? It feels like it's a them problem, but that's almost worse, because then there's nothing I can do to change what I'm doing. It's still going to be the same result. And it's not good enough. I'd have to say meteorology, or no, I'll go with my relationship. I'm struggling here, and it feels like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of doomed, honestly. Without going into too much detail, because I know that she watches these videos, it just feels like I'm not really being listened to a lot. Like, I say I need space or not to talk about it, and it just gets pushed, and it's like, I don't know. This is exactly the same crap that my ex-girlfriend did, and I hated it. I hated it then, I hate it now, and I shouldn't be having to put up with that. Yeah, and it's like another thing, she says things in a moment, I don't know if she really thinks it, but like, one of them is she's like, well, I don't know if you'd be able to handle staying in the house for 2 days. It's like, look, if you're not going to believe in me, why am I with you? It's the same thing with my parents. They don't believe I can do these things, which doesn't help my motivation to do anything. Because if I can't do it, what's the point? Meteorology, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do that. It just seems like it's too competitive and they expect you to move. That's the same problem I ran into before. And the peers are really frustrating. I suspect a lot of them are on the spectrum, but it's like, look, I just don't want to deal with that anymore. I want to deal with people who, when I make plans or reach out to them, they respond. For God's sake, is that really too much to ask for basic communication reciprocation? And I don't know if I'd be good enough anyway. It's the same thing with like a lot of things that I've wanted to do. Improv, there was a mentor is pushing me to reach out to this one person and join the troupe, but it's like, I'm apprehensive to even try it, because last time I did it, I kind of felt like I was shoved aside and not treated like I had much potential. And then people from the group, one of them started their own troupe. They wouldn't even consider giving me an audition. I blocked them on Facebook for that, but again, it's sort of like, everyone just, there's just a general toxicity, and it's just that way with a lot of things. Also, a lot of these other passion projects I've wanted to do, like starting writing groups, dating alliances, people have been awful and non-committal, and it's like, how am I supposed to, you can't go to established groups because people are bad and they shut you out and treat you like an outsider, and you can't start your own groups because everyone ghosts you, doesn't take it seriously, forcing you to guess what they want, and then you guess wrong and they don't show up, and it's like, well, why am I even wasting my time? You're not even giving me the bare minimum of communication here. So I don't know. There's still a lot of frustrations that need to be hammered out, so to say. It's been somewhat better, but I'm still not happy with the way that things are going in my life. And I still have to give a special fuck you to my ex-friends. Really, I remember I sent this original video to a lot of them on Facebook. Not only one of them even replied, and he had the audacity to shut me out because I sent this video. He's like, have a good life. Hopefully you can grow past yourself. No accountability at all. None. None of these people have any accountability, and that's part of why I don't like people with disabilities. Although I would definitely be lying if I said they were the only people who were responsible for this, but there definitely seems to be a general lack of maturity with these people. There was even someone I talked to who still blames me for how our friendship imploded when he was the one who ditched my plans and showed no remorse. And he's still trying to blame me and act like I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, you sound like a damn Redditor, dude. When are you going to grow up? When are any of y'all gonna grow up?